1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
This is going to sound very strange, but we are a typical Catholic high school that has a very good football team.
Got one body.
That's it.
Body. Don't cheat it.
My experience in every institution, every school, is that there's a story to be told, just because the nature of the people who are here.
You're talking about developing young men and going beyond their limitations.
Well, can you recover? Can you recover and do it again?
You can never underestimate the enthusiasm and the will of a teenager.
Look how we're so consumed by worries of our days. Crowded lives have no room for peace of mind to stay. See how easily we bend when life she weighs us down. Wait a minute, live for the moment, live for each minute, live like you want it. Wait a minute, live for the moment, live for each minute, live like you want it. Wait a minute, live for the moment, live for each minute, live like you want it. Dance, dance, dance your getaway.
Here's a school that has this winning streak. How does that happen? What is it about this community?
It's not just about X's and O's. It's not just about drawing the plays on the board that allows that element of the school to take on the prominence that it has.
I think athletics is just an extension of education here. Some people that are on the outside look at it as a sports powerhouse, but most of these coaches believe they're teachers and educators.
What's up, son?
The rankings to me really don't mean anything. You know, I think I guess for the boys they can say they're #1, but I don't very often even hear the boys ever, when they're here, talk about any of that.
In high school sports, particularly in football, it's subjective, because the teams don't play each other. Nobody has a 125-0 record, so if that is the primary criteria, well, yeah, I guess we own that.
When you're talking about let's pick the #1 team, I'm always thinking in terms of the #1 team based on what? Wins? Because I think you can win and do it the wrong way.
I really wanted to go to DLS since I was a little kid. I used to go to the football games, I used to drop by the school and watch the workouts. All my brothers and sisters went here from the lit, all my cousins and everything like that.
I wanted to change. I knew that this would be like the better place for me to like start my life.
I didn't really know too much about it until I was about in 8th grade. My dad had, kind of strummed through some papers and noticed about their win streak and all that stuff, and I played quarterback since I was about 8 years old. Took the entrance exam, I did get in, and then we were kind of faced with this choice, like, uh-oh, now what do we do?
Shut up. These tough guys,
I never heard of DLS until my mom, she asked me what I want to come here. I was like, at first, I was like, DLS, what is DLS? When I looked into the school, I was like, okay, I want to go here. So that was probably one of the biggest things in my life.
Every year, some Saturday in August, we come down here, do a little cleaning up, a little painting, cutting, trimming, whatever. I think probably the best thing I ever did for my son was to send him here to school. I think that was the most positive experience in his life, and he's had a wonderful life. And I want to give a little back.
We pass by here every day. We always hear good things about De La Salle. We see what kind of men they produce, and that's what I wanted my boys to be. I'm a single mom, raising them by myself, so this is their role model. And I think I picked a pretty good one.
Nobody really realizes that the winning streak the football team has coincides with my painting the goalposts. So I would take it as my own personal letting the team down if I didn't paint the goalposts and, they lost a game.
We are on official practice time, starting today. Let's get our football season started right. Here we go! Bombs over Concord! Hot! Oh!
This is the first time we ever sat on the beach.
I know.
We're gonna cheat on
Listen to me. Either you want to play defense or you don't. I started out as campus ministry, working in campus ministry, teaching social studies, U.S. history, and some religious studies classes. And then anything I wanted to do in athletics was on my own. Like, for some reason, only known to him, Bob decided that I should be the head JV football coach. When I didn't even know the offense, I didn't know the names of the plays. I was just coaching DBs and receivers. I was just trying to get my feet wet.
I actually became a teacher because I was dissatisfied with the career that I was in. As a probation, I was working actually as a group counselor in juvenile hall. It just seems like I would have been another cog in the machine.
When Bob Ladouceur came along in 1979, he applied for the job at DLS. They say he turned in a 15-page, single-spaced description of his philosophy and his plans. Now, Terry is a kind of gruff, semi-bearded, bark kind of guy. He's a defensive coordinator, but you can see that he was trained by the Jesuits. He's, you know, any defender who's been trained by the Jesuits is going to be tough.
Yeah, it's fun. It's kind of like going out. It's kind of like going into the classroom for the first time. Every year, it's like you get nervous and, gee, I forget how to coach. And
Okay, you guys come on in.
are we going to be organized? Are we going to have everything together? Are we going to be organized out there? Are the kids going to be lost or staring at you with those blank stares?
I can't find the
Those,
medium.
you know, those kind of paranoid questions run through my head. But it's still exciting.
Trade them if you don't want like the one you got.
You know, right now I'm looking at,
Who else needs to get?
damn, you know, this is going to be a long haul.
A little warm, overcome it, just like you did in the summertime. Have a good time today. You're in pads finally after 9 months. How about that?
I've had coaches say, I've never seen a team as low as this. In football, getting low, getting your weight really low is a sign of both conditioning, fitness, and discipline. And they never see a team like De La Salle fire out on the ball.
You want to be into his frame.
The instant the ball is snapped, their explosiveness is unparalleled.
You're 16, 17 years old. I mean, hard work it does make a difference. It makes a huge difference over talent at this age. That's all a part of being a great football player. That's part of growing up, too. You know, how much difference does it make to you?
I mean, if we do that, then there's no way we should lose.
They're going to be a great team, and they'll go out there, and I don't see them losing again. At least not this year.
Hold your foot up. You know, start moving the ball a little bit, loosen up a little bit, try to get a feel for it. You know, don't be afraid to warm up early, stretch out a little bit. Don't feel like you gotta wait for everybody to do a formal warm up, you know.
Look how nice our room's starting to look again. Well, you know, all coaches are supposed to a degree. Like, you know, if we win this game, I'll wear the same pants, the same shirt for the rest of the season. Don't play around with the gods of sports, that's my advice. My wife really doesn't like games. She gets extremely nervous and nauseous if we're not playing well. It's more fun for me to call her up and tell her we lost and watch her get, you know, sick. It's kind of a game I've got going with her. I have more fun doing that. And actually, how you're here. The girls like to come, like watching the cheerleaders and stuff, and they like the crowd and the excitement. So, you know, running around today like they've had about 20 bowls of tricks before game time.
In the strong safety.
He's already yelled at me, so that means he's ready to go. That's always a start right there.
Help field side! Field side! Field side! God dang it.
It makes me feel good when he gets that one little yell at me. It's good. It's a good sign. Game ready.
Field side! Field side! I understand you. Shut up.
That's right. His son's playing.
Anytime you talk to your wife, you can forget any other type of... You gotta focus totally on what they're saying.
I don't give pregame speeches. Anything that comes out of any of our mouths isn't going to make one bit of difference. All athletes are self-motivated. And if you sit there and say, no, I need someone to fire me up, that's all horse shit, that's all BS.
We're going to go out there, we can warm up easy, get some fresh air in us.
I hate guys that are posers, who think they're going to do it, who believe they deserve it, but won't go out and earn it.
St. John Baptist, De La Salle.
Pray for us.
There's Jesus in the heart.
You know, you guys are going to make some mistakes today, but we got to turn out on the positive ledger so when it's all said and done.
In the air, but drop and do it again. Tails he calls.
Intended for Demonte Fitzgerald that follows equal weight.
Deep is that deepest person, right? That's your play. All right. Hey, you're learning on the ropes. Good. Hey, because guess what? You need it. You guys are all green up front. Green. It means you haven't played a lot.
Gotta learn from mistakes. Sometimes you gotta learn mistakes from the hard way.
You played that second half exactly like you've practiced the last 3 weeks. Lethargic, walking around, dazed, no effort.
You just look bad. God. You're not going to be some comic book hero that's going to put a cape on game day and go out there and just start. It doesn't work that way. You watch too much TV if you believe that.
You're right, we didn't score much. How was the locker room?
That's the difference between De La Salle and a lot of high schools. Most teams would be overjoyed at winning 24-0, but it's never about the scoreboard. It's about their individual performance and what they did. Sometimes they think their game's better than it is, and they realize tonight's not. This is the take where the coach is depressed and you film them afterwards. You know?
Once again, we're currently 40-35.
God, you are such the media whore.
Look at that. Oh, no, I missed it.
Yeah, you're not Barry Bonds, dude. Okay, go to the
Right
next.
there, right there. Dallas, look at that, buddy. That's a major article right there. Just a little bit about the Hawaii game. Traveling party of Del Salle is being completely paid for. So the school is not putting out any money for that game, which was important to me. I wasn't going to spend $40,000 or $50,000 to go play a high school football game.
This morning, we'd like to take this opportunity to thank Physical One Airlines.
Speaking on a prep level, it's probably the biggest event this island has seen in I don't know how long, maybe ever. They got two of the top programs from the mainland coming over to play their two top programs, and I don't think they've ever had that.
What makes Hawaii a special place, the fact that Hawaii doesn't have professional football, doesn't have professional basketball or baseball.
It's probably going to be about 30 to 35,000 per game. The state record's 32,000, and they're anticipating that's going to be shattered.
When are our kids going to have the opportunity to play in front of a large crowd like that? I mean, those opportunities for high school kids are very rare.
We'll have a little luau on Wednesday night. It's more of a chicken teriyaki dinner because you can't, where we're going to have it, you can't dig a hole in the sand where we're going to be. So just give me some tiki torches, some hula dancers, and chicken, we'll be all right.
De La Salle is a household name in Hawaii. It may not be even in California, like in Southern California. But in Hawaii, I guess we take our football pretty seriously.
In the 40s and 50s, that's all it was, high school football. Everybody talked about high school football. I think what ended up happening, especially in the 70s, and I think it started in the late 60s and the 70s, the money stuff started getting in there, and big contracts and this and that, and I think that's why high school didn't get that much attention, because all the attention went to the money, where the money was at.
Capitalism in America is, if there's a market, I'm not going to say, I don't know if they're going to exploit it, but they're going to expand into it. And obviously, this has become a market.
Coca-Cola promoted the game on their cans. They printed 6 million cans with the Football Classic logo and the $5 discount. Papa John's Pizza printed 2 million flyers and distributed them with the $5 discount.
And it's not too dissimilar, actually, from what Nike did last year with basketball. In this case, they're doing the same thing. They're bringing teams in for a one-off game, and it's being funded by major corporate enterprises in Hawaii. Am I in favor of that? Not necessarily.
We get 4.5 million hits a year on the website. Yeah. So we're looking even to beat that this year.
Yeah.
So we're already at 500,000 for this month.
Run the play! Watch it get the ball. Down! Hey! Thank God we snapped it!
They've been working all day long on these pass plays, all day long. And now here they are towards the end of practice, and they've been hitting them one right after the other. I think they're really coming together. I think this is going to be a really good game. I don't think it'll be anything like what they played last Friday.
Now we go with the money, Tony.
126-game winning streak on the line.
I'll give you half. Since you missed that, that's good. Come on, shake, swinger! God! Coach, you want double? I can't double or nothing. Right here for that 100.
If the coaches keep it in the right perspective, and I know at De La Salle they do,
and they will have a cultural element, and they will have an element of taking the kids to, you know, the Arizona Memorial, I assume, and make it somewhat educational. So win or lose, it's a positive thing. If the coaches have the right attitude, I think you can get away from that over commercialism.
One day, April 11th, the fleet was under attack, and one pilot decided that this ship was his target. They knew they were hitting him, but they couldn't shoot it down. That plane actually slams into the ship right there. Captain Callahan treated his enemies with a lot of respect, and he considered this pilot to be a true warrior. They had a 21-gun salute, and they had released the body into the ocean.
That guy's fighting for his country. He thinks he's doing something right. We're fighting for our country. We think we're doing something right. I mean, it's mutual respect.
Well, I could go from the football standpoint is that we definitely respect everyone, respect everybody that we play, and you have to do that, I guess, in war too.
It feels far from reality. Like being a college football player, it's like a dream job, you know? It's crazy to me that there's kids that are just my age, you know, I'm only 18 years old. There's kids that are graduating high school just like I did and going, you know, getting shipped off to Afghanistan. I'm just thankful for those people that are willing to put their life on the line for me to go play a game.
Bed check means you don't come out of your room, you don't go to someone else's room, you're in your room with your roommate. Bed check's at 10 o'clock.
Now, are the kids going to be in bed tonight, or will there just be pillows and blankets with this party out? Great.
They said don't cover him.
Yeah.
Then a couple times they said if he's close in, but he's in the box, but he's still covering somebody.
Yeah,
well, he can still make the play. That's the thing. You have to decide if he can make the play or not.
Yeah, you can easily make it.
Running
Ran in the room, I can make it.
Jumped off.
I can dive and make it. Why don't you go get an F? Where's Cole, idiot?
The one time I can say that the winning streak does play in your favor for games like this because in their minds they have a lot on the line.
There's more distractions, definitely, and it's a different climate, different environment. You know, there's a lot of strikes against us as far as the little things like that. So I'm hoping that they're not going to allow that to distract them that much. That's going to be a good lesson for them.
Welcome to the pre-doubleheader press conference involving all 4 coaches of the participating teams.
Our kids are very excited to be here. I know our athletics director is very excited to be here. I'm not that excited to be here. Because I know that we're up against a really good opponent, very tough, well coached. It's good for our kids, and that's our philosophy coming in, is that, you know, we're not going to schedule teams that's going to protect a win streak or anything like that. We're going to present our kids challenges that are going to be memories for them and encourage them to take on tough challenges.
Shouldn't be much pressure on me. I mean, when is the last time no one expected St. Louis to win? And I only have a two-game winning streak, and he's got 126, so there's no pressure there.
People get caught up in the national rankings in high school. I still today don't know how they rank nationally high schools. There's so many high schools out there, but people get caught up in the glitz. The kids get caught up in that.
The silver sweat.
Considering you played DLS in just a few weeks, how much of an advantage is it to get to see them up close Saturday night?
Well, they have the same advantage as us. They're going to watch us. So there's, to me, it's equal. For me as a coach, reality is just another game. But for you guys, the kids, the community, it's something bigger.
What's his problem?
Said his hands are slippery. Ball keeps slipping.
Oh, that's good to know. Have fun tonight. It's supposed to be fun. So you make it fun by playing well. Okay, let's get our team prayer and go.
Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Pray for us.
Look right at it. If he knifes down, look at how far you ran on that. All right? And keep your head up and look for that free safety, because you're going to get by those linebackers.
Your thoughts on the first half so far?
Well, I'm pretty happy the way we moved the ball. We made some nice catches, so if we can keep that up, it'll be great. That should go. If they're in the 4-3, like out here. And you just got to cut that guy off. This is exactly what we prepped for.
See the third wide receiver. You gotta look for the call. You're a man there.
Good job. Good luck this year. Good job. That away. Good job. Good job.
Don't talk to anybody. You gotta do a press conference. It'll be easier if you get out of the way. You know what I mean?
Can we just get them real quickly on the...
I don't know what you're saying.
I'm saying that they're gonna make you go to the press conference. And they're gonna make you answers. They want you to just go in and talk to the team and go up in the media room.
Can you just
if you want to.
We got
a ton of video. It's up to you though. It's up to you if you want to do it twice.
Coach, I want to talk about the speed factor, how much speed you had over this team.
Well, I thought our speed showed up mostly on early in the game. We wore down in the second half. And I thought our special teams shortened the field dramatically for us. I thought that was the key to the game, was our special teams. The coaching staff did a great job preparing you too. But you're the guys, like I said, that are in there doing it. I was real proud of your effort tonight. You guys played like you practiced. You stepped up. We're still going to drill. We're still going to get better.
Salle High School provides a Catholic Lasallian education rooted in a liberal arts tradition which prepares young people for life and college. The school seeks to educate students spiritually, academically, physically, and socially, the promotion of a vital faith life, sponsorship of strong academic programs, and a wide range of student activities. So the idea of educating you spiritually and promoting a vital faith life is one of the many reasons why we start off, at least in religious studies class. How many guys, this is period 4, how many guys have started off your other class with the prayer today? All right, good. That's what we're going to do every day. We're going to start off every day with a prayer.
What is at the heart of a Lasallian school, a school run by the De La Salle Christian Brothers, is that element of faith?
I think religion is very important in school. I think it's a huge facet of life, and people can't rely on themselves alone. They have to have a broader base than that. And I don't know, life can seem finite without that.
Everyone wants to believe in something. And when you get down to it, as you grow old, you're going to start to want to believe in something.
Our need to believe, as David was saying, is almost as the need to trust people. It's almost the same.
It's so unique to have football coaches that are teaching religion, not because we have no other classes for them to teach, but they actually, care about that.
They don't really try to drive home like, this is a Catholic school and, you need to go to church every Sunday. It's like, this is our faith, and they use it as a tool.
I'm a teenager, I got questions, but I like examining all sorts of different ideas and stuff like that.
A lot of coaches get panicked about chapel because, I don't really consider myself a religious person on that, but really all you have to do is kind of go in there and moderate it. From this point on, which is really nice, it's just us and getting ready for this game. Kind of sit down in there and be able to talk to one another in a real safe environment. Something that, they can't just do a lot of times out here in the quad with one another and be able to share some things with each other, talk about themselves. I think that's what really builds a team together. For 24 hours, clear your mind. I'm giving you permission right now just to have to do one thing. That's pretty nice.
There's supposedly secret things that go on with the team, rituals before games. I don't know. I know that they pray before each game.
I was given a good definition the other day about faith, faith is believing in what you can't see based on what you can see. I have faith that we will win this weekend, just based on the tangible things in front of my face. If you can win and lose and take those both the same way, and when things get broken down, things you've got in your life, put your life into, you can stoop and build them up with worn out tools that you built them up before. And I just think that's one of the most profound things we've heard in chapel.
That's why I take the sign of peace seriously. That's why I say, every time you do it, it's a symbol, it's a sign, it's a commitment, it's a dedication to one another. It's being honorable. So with that in mind, let's offer each other that sign of peace.
I pray before every game. I pray before I go to bed, things like that. So faith is pretty much one of my big things in life.
I pray for strength, my courage, my focus.
I pray for my family, I pray for my parents, and I've definitely prayed for my sister.
Faith in themselves plays a huge part. I mean, they have to really believe they can do this.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Father of light, in whom is found no shadow of darkness, help us each day to become more like Christ. People of integrity, respect, compassion, and above all else, love. 66, Tony Sackman.
Heads it is. What did he call? Heads. What is it? Tail.
Hell yeah.
You want to defer?
All right.
In my class, we have frank discussions all the time. You know, some of the teachings of the church are not as absolute as people think, you know, on a lot of issues. You know, people think that the church is just so hotline on a lot of different things, and they're not.
We got to make plays. We haven't made any plays.
We're going to go bam. I was thinking of trips, bam, quick hitch. I'm thinking of trips, quad trips, sprint out. I'm thinking of quad trips, sprint right, screen at 9. That's to the single running back.
We got to call passes like that, quick hitch. And if we call 30 hop, that linebacker, the guy that knocked you down on a quick slant, 30 hop will be behind that guy.
Shit. You know, it's like everything we're calling will work or has worked, but you guys have flubbed it. If you're going to get physical and get after these guys, you can put them away. Right now, it should be 21-0. It should be 21-0 right now.
Let's go. Give me a defense. Give me a defense. Let's go.
What you were saying with Bob and Terry, too, they're real people with real problems and real issues and real demands on their lives. And the kids see that. They also see their deep spirituality. And so that's where they get their strength.
These teams around here are they're not chopped liver. I mean, they play good football too. You know, everyone expects us to come in and just mow down people, and that's
just not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
What are you going to tell the team when you get back to the locker room?
You're fired.
Seriously.
I screwed up 2 calls today on formations, but not enough for the kind of output we put on board. You want to play well next week and win. You want to have a shot at Poly. You got to pick it up. All this bad crap you did tonight is fixable.
We call Coach Ladd God because of the way he walks around. His presence is just like, when he comes, like we could be talking real loud, and then you'll see Coach Ladd, then everybody just be quiet. I honestly look up to Coach Ladd because of the type of person he is, the way what he believes in and what he doesn't believe in, and things like that. So I sort of shaped my faith around him.
You know, since this streak began in 1991, it's the same thing, the same system over and over. And even though the players changed, the one constant has been Bob Ladouceur.
I think when I first met him, when my oldest son was on the team, my oldest was somewhat intimidated by Coach Ladd. And in turn, that kind of made me intimidated. And some of the parents truly were. I mean, we would walk by as if we were little kids in school, and the principal was coming by. We'd say, "Hi, Coach," and we'd keep going. And I thought, oh, for God's sakes, how ridiculous is that? He's a father, and a parent like the rest of us.
He's so low key, but he's intense, and it takes a long time to get to know him. I taught here for 2 years before he said hi. You know.
If Bob has a bad day, sometimes he'll say, "This is it. I'm done. You know, after this year, I'm just gonna teach senior seminar or go back to coaching freshman football or something like that." And but you know, he loves coaching.
I suppose if anyone ever lived by the philosophy of live one day at a time, I pretty much followed that. And maybe to a fault. I never had goals in terms of career that, gee, I want to get to this level or I want to do this because it's going to be, I'm going to have more status or it's going to be better.
He says a single sentence and it changes, it changes your whole thought process. It changes how you view yourself sometimes. You know, he comes up with these one-liners and he doesn't yell them. He looks through you and says them, and you know you have to change something.
That look that his eyes pierce right through your soul. Sure, I've seen that. Yeah, that's his look. You know, it's one of those ones that it's like he's looking right through you. I don't get it very often, but I've seen the players get it. Yeah.
That's what you see when you see them dig down and come up with a big play. You know, it's that consciousness of we don't want to disappoint Mr. Ladouceur.
There are schools that are way out of balance with their sports emphasis. Somehow that has become
the notable quality of the school. And when it's matched with sometimes deteriorating instructional delivery programs, it can get very damaging. Although you'll have athletes who will be very successful, but are they well-rounded?
This is the venue we have, and this is what we use to educate.
The coaches understand that you're a big part of this community and that you're an example of what our mission statement's about to our students. You're just as important as the teaching and the staff on this school.
To say that they don't think creatively or independently out there, I think is a huge mistake. The kids that cannot do that end up on our bench. They have to work collaboratively with each other on a lot of assignments. They have to process quickly. They have to think creatively. How can I accomplish this task?
Use the game, don't let the game use you. The game is there to teach you the skills that you will need later in life. It's not, the sports will end, but the skills that you learn, you can incorporate forever, and most importantly in the classroom, and then in life skills later on.
We spent a tremendous amount of time teaching detail, teaching focus, teaching effort on the football field. And if someone has success on the football field or in any sport or in training, and they're not having success in other areas of life, it's a perfect time, it's a perfect environment to be able to pull them aside, show them, you're having success in these areas for these reasons. This is why you're doing well here. You're putting effort in, you're focusing on detail, you're doing these things right. Now, what do you need to do in the classroom? What have you learned from your environment in sport that you can apply to the things you're doing in the classroom?
And if it comes to situations that you just got too much going on, you got tests tomorrow or papers, you're just overloaded, you can most guys definitely go for dinner. Then if they have to go schoolwork, they come and tell us, and we release you for that. We will never say no to schoolwork, and we're not going to do this either. It's fine. If you have schoolwork, you have schoolwork.
It's almost
65.
It's like, we already had like 8 cookies.
7.5.
Are you doing
Hey, Cole.
It was 80 squares.
It's like that Coors Light.
No, it is 80. Just 80.
Cole. Are you doing food?
Is it?
Yeah.
What size did it do? For a circle, area circumference, fuck. The equation for jobs, but eat everything. It turned out gross.
One of the things I've always loved about these team meetings is listening to guys step up and not just talk about what we need to do as a team or what everybody needs to do as a group, but standing up and saying, I am going to do this tomorrow night. I'm going to do this, calling themselves out in these meetings in front of their teammates.
Every week we do a commitment card, and it's like a 3x5 card. You have game goals and practice goals, and you stand up and you read what your commitment card says, and then you say, I'm going to commit to like Sandy, and you'll go over and you give him a hug, and then the next guy goes.
On D-line to strike the lineman and not catch. Practice goal is the pancake llama, Gordado, and Vittori, and to keep my head up on all pass.
Not saying, yeah, we need to play better, or we need to be intense, or we need to step it up, but saying, I'm going to step it up. And you guys can count on me to do that. And when you guys get 5, 6, 10, 20, 40 of you guys stepping up and committing to each other what you're going to get done, man, that's a beautiful thing.
My game goals are 2 touchdowns, 150 yards rushing, and a big play on special teams.
Oh, look at this. Just run anything. That'll work. Go! Yes! Yes! Yes!
Touchdown, Spartan. Murray through the final 9 yards for the score.
Let's go, South football, baby! Yes! Another one.
Commit to 100 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns,
and good kickouts on all powers when I'm not getting the ball.
That's it, Chino!
Touchdown, Spartan. Gino Ottavani carrying in the final 10 yards for the score. Consecutive victory number 129 for the DLS Spartans. The final score, 56-27.
As we're dedicated to what we do, like a lot of teams don't practice every day in the summer by themselves. That's what we do, just to get better for the season, get ready for the season for all the tough games we're playing.
I don't think people realize how hard you guys work.
I don't either.
I was pleased for you guys and happy to see how you played tonight. And you bounce back from the penalties, the called back touchdowns, things like that. You bounce back from that stuff. Maurice kind of set people on fire with that kick return, which was, that should be on the plays of the week. And then everybody chipped in and started making plays. That was great. So enjoy that. You guys, you put in a good week of work last week, so it paid off. You're gonna have to put in another great week of work this week.
There's more on my desk pertinent to this particular media event that's happening on Saturday than school business, regular school business. And from my standpoint, I'll be happy when we see our way through this.
The media attention on our team is high, and I think the school in some ways wants to, you know, counteract that.
The school is very conscientious about not making football the incredibly huge thing that other people do, because we also want to make sure that our other athletes get due respect.
Nothing from the student body, no special assembly, not even an announcement. On our daily announcements have I heard any comments that stand out regarding this particular game.
They've tried so hard and worked so hard. I think they deserve some sort of, you know, show of support from the school.
I don't think the coaches of the team feel that they're not supported, but you'd never know. There's a big game Saturday. We're looking at campus. We're not going to have a rally tomorrow. It's really odd.
We don't know how many copies do I want.
I asked you how many copies you want.
Wait, did they speed copy the good guys?
You're damn right. I'm gonna go to good guys and tell them I'm gonna pay you. Give me, I want copies now. Come on, get them. How many copies you want?
Where
they speed copy them?
Rarely do we get to see them interact with each other. They make fun of each other a lot.
See these shoes?
Yeah.
I've worn these shoes twice. St. Louis and last night, because I wore my black Nikes twice. Every time I've worn them, we've sucked on offense. So it's
You
been my
are
fault.
losing your mind now. It's the shoes.
The shoes.
Let me tell you something else.
These are the good luck shoes. I
Let me tell you
figured it
something
out.
else.
I figured it out.
Just stay away from the offense.
Say if the DBs get burned one game, then, you know, Coach Edson will be getting it. Coach Ward, you know, they don't get taught technique. And then if the linemen the next week just, you know, have a horrible game, Coach Ladd, Coach Allen Ball get it, you know, goes back and forth.
Yeah, well, he's losing his mind.
We agree. He's losing his mind.
Coach Edson, for one, his personality out there in the field. He has so many names that he calls people. It's ridiculous. But the ultimate one is if you get called a muffin head, that's when you know you did something bad.
Do I look like I'm losing my mind? No. I still like dealing with incompetence. I don't know what the problem there. Hey, hot chocolate and a muffin I bought last week.
Mike wants a triple
doozer?
Yeah. Hot chocolate, no whip, no non-fat, right, Terry?
Yeah.
Low-fat muffin?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, and then you want a latte, what? Just a latte?
Yeah, with a single raw sugar.
You know,
And a straw.
We give him this big order. He comes back to Frappuccino. And Joey goes, "Where's the straw?" He goes, "You didn't order a straw." That's what we deal with on a daily basis.
how's that one happen?
Where's the girl? She's not there.
Look at that hole open up. That's inexcusable, Cecil. Look at the strong safety out here. He pays no attention to you whatsoever. And he gets his helmet on the runner.
Right there, he's jumping on Maurice's back. You guys look like frogs back there. You can't get out of that stance forward. Look at how late you guys are off the ball.
What are they doing? Cameron, what's the rule about breaking down?
Break down in front of the receiver?
When they break down, what?
I said break down in front of the receiver, and when they break down, you break down.
Okay, well look at he's breaking down right now, and you're not. You're too good of an athlete to be a guy that does one thing well. That's going to have to change if we're going to win next Saturday.
Come on, wrap it up.
When they hit well, you hear the kids applaud because they said that's when you want to hear when you're hitting somebody.
Quit acting like you're the little sisters of the poor. Get your keys, unlock your brain, climb out of your head, put your pads on, and go hit someone. Kick it here. You see what I'm pointing?
And that 4 weeks that we've led up to this game, where we're saying that's not good enough, that's not hard enough, you're not physical enough, you're getting ripped, you're getting rocked back into your stance. All that evaluation and assessment is to measure you up against Poly. So you got a bar that you have to reach, and it's still higher than you think it is. So it's a Spartan, totally Spartan existence this entire week. It's schoolwork and football, period.
So you guys got it? Let's go. Let's go. 3 class on 2, ready, 1, 2.
Partner this guy, and he'll run underneath that like they have to do anyway. Try to pop this dude, and we'll just get right off onto him.
We got to get some splits.
Yeah.
Especially right here.
Lad installed what's called an option or veer offense, which involves a lot of fakery, a lot of quickness, a lot of thinking, and it allows smaller players who are disciplined to offset the strength, size, and skill advantage of larger players.
They didn't have a guy out there.
Yes, they did.
You guys are on glue.
Long Beach Poly, for instance, doesn't run a veer. Schools that have highly talented athletes don't run this kind of offense because the players are not highly recruited for college, and they often don't translate into pros.
Everyone always asks me if, like, are there secret plays or stuff like that, and I'm always going, not that I know of. I've never had Alioti or any of those guys, like, or Lad especially, say like he's doing anything that no one else could do themselves, you know?
We could do a better job than last year. I know we can. But you guys can't put the ball on the ground, can't have bad pitches. You guys got to run your right routes on the veers. Get off the ball so the quarterback can make his reads. You guys got to believe in a game like this. You got, not wish. Not wish. You got to believe.
If you can't wish, you can wish. You gotta believe. That was a
Next thing we know, you're gonna hold the Spartan flag, lead us down onto the field.
Come on, everybody up. Put your hands in the circle. Are you a part of this or not? Yes.
Colonel, spread out.
Definitely.
Switch it. Go.
You know, they want you to be thinking that the other guys on defense are actually Poly. Not quite an accurate simulation.
I told him, I said, first of all, you're the wrong color. Second of all, you're the wrong body type.
The guy looks like he's got a little condom on his head.
Poly has more of an uphill battle than most people might think when you consider that they get 0 return yards. When our kicker puts it in the end zone every time, that's a whole lot of yards that you give away and a lot of big plays that you take away from Poly. We've got a pretty devastating return game to complement it. So you look at that swing in advantage, and that's a lot to overcome.
You know, you have the discipline of DLS Salle and the athleticism of Long Beach Poly. Long Beach Poly's put more guys in the NFL than any other high school. DLS Salle has the longest winning streak in the history of high school football. These guys haven't lost a football game in 11 years, and everybody says they're the underdog. You're top dog till you lose, as far as I'm concerned.
Good? Yeah. How's your ankle? Good. Good? How's Damon's shoulder?
Good.
Good.
Anybody else?
How's Cameron's thigh?
Good.
Excellent.
We are all good.
And the thing is, they don't believe me, they believe you. It doesn't matter.
Dinners are just awesome. just like hang out and then go over the game.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Smells like the locker room. And as you saw on film last year's game, no one in the history of football has ever played perfect. Tomorrow afternoon, you'll make mistakes. They will happen. The bottom line is how you react to those mistakes.
Everything I said about the streak still holds true. I don't give a shit about the win or the loss. I do care about how you play. And if we lose, you say, fuck it. I gave the best job, I did the best I could. We move on.
Reading the papers and all that kind of stuff, it seems that they, down there at Poly, they're kind of underestimate me. And rightfully so, because I haven't really done anything this year, but I see that as an opportunity to make huge plays. So if you see me with the ball in my hand, I want you to, be able to trust me. So I just want to let you guys know that I'm honored to go out there and go to battle with you guys.
It's the talk across the country. Sports Illustrated, ESPN the magazine, USA Today, they're all going to be there. What more would you want, a high school football player, than be able to play this game? This is a dream come true. This is a dream come true.
Seatbelts. Okay, John. Don't put no scratches on that thing.
You know, when it's one of your kids, whatever they do, they're fixing their chin strap or whatever, everything's exciting.
Hey, how's it going? I'm en route to the stadium right now. My pickup's full of equipment.
Dad, do you have tape?
Yes, I do. You got everything. Is that a test?
No.
Did Edson put you up to that?
Right now. Down there.
Football is a religion for us at Poly. It's not just a sport. We're absolutely here as a team. Families have come together. It's a big deal for us.
We're community, and that's what it is about. The team is, all together. We're a family, and that's what it takes.
You still pretty much see all the people you played with. So everybody stays pretty close-knit, but it's a good feeling just to see everybody here and everything that's going on.
My son went to school here, so, just the fever just caught on. Plus, they did so much for him. They're just a great school. You never, thankful enough. But.
I hope to be like my brother someday.
My little brother gonna see to him.
It's just like we're all together.
And we're able to come together as a team this year instead of individuals. I think we're going to come out and give them a real strong fight.
Score will be, say, like maybe 28-14.
I think we're going to win 60-2.
36-14.
We win if we win, lose if we lose, but you know what? We got the spirit, and it's winning is tradition. It's not something that just happens, it's tradition.
You guys enjoy this day and have fun. And the fun begins when you start making plays out there. But it's a special day for De La Salle football. It's a special day for high school football. And you guys are a part of it all. And you should enjoy that and be proud of that. And this is what you guys do. This is it. You're football players. So go out and glorify yourselves personally and collectively. And I mean that in a very spiritual way.
Welcome to the most anticipated high school football matchup of the year.
I got 201 yards passing.
What? Played a great game. Jesus Christ. Let's go. Thanks, John.
I can imagine it. I've been imagining it all week. I can't tell you how big this game was for me. I wanted to show everybody, what our team could do, and our team came out and played, excellent tonight. And it was a good time for our offense to start clicking.
It's the line, like I was telling them outside, that the linemen, as long as they make the blocks and they're going to stay on their blocks at all times, then it's easy for me or anyone else to make the runs.
Amazing linebacker coach, Coach Allenbaugh, that protect these linebackers, till no end. Man, we have the best coaches in the world, I think.
Your boys were giving you props down in the press conference. Coach Allenbaugh got us already. Shit, these guys did it. I mean, Jesus. They did things I was like.
Yeah, I'm not
like
sure
Cecil.
I physically manhandled him. More like we physically beat him. He's a good football team.
It's your work ethic, it's your practice, it's getting people ready, it's your attitude. It's a great lesson for you about what you can do in this world when you put your mind to something.
I saw it today as a total team effort. Clutch catches by our receivers. Britt was unbelievable. You linemen fought hard. Maurice got hard yards. You guys were just inspiring. You not only met expectations, you went beyond them. I think it's the greatest victory De La Salle ever got.
If you look at it historically, the isolation of Concord has had a lot to do with producing these world-beating teams. When De La Salle was founded in 1965, it was a rural agricultural place. It was the boonies. The people who were there did not think of themselves as San Franciscans. It created an us versus them mentality. What you have is these guys in isolation kind of building the perfect machine. It's not just about football, and that's probably the most important point.
Being away, I really realized how much I, miss it, how much I love it. Even the area that I live in, I didn't have an appreciation for it, and now I'm really realizing, how much I do love living here, how much I enjoyed high school.
Big football's down the southeast. Big football's in Pennsylvania, Ohio, the state of Texas. California is not known for football teams and football dynasties. It's known for players, but not dynasties.
That's what this atmosphere really reminds me of. This is still high school. You know, it's a reminder that, hey, this is still 16, 17-year-old kids playing a game. They just happen to be the best team in the country, but tonight, they're 16 or 17-year-old kids playing a game.
Now this reminds me of a high school game. The football team is just kind of an extension of this community and what goes on in the community and all the amazing things that go on here.
I think you can try to build community, but I think, and that could be a goal, but I think somehow these guys have built it where it's not just a part-time thing, it's an it's an all-time thing, you know?
Hey, did you drop this on the ground, Gino? Gino!
I feel like you have a stronger bond when you're training with the guys here. Even I feel it when I'm doing this for the last 4 years after I graduate. And I kind of, when I leave, I feel like I'm leaving like kind of like a family. I've been through so much with them.
Hey, don't get mad. Don't break the rhythm.
Football is just a thing here, you know, it's just a sport. It's not, you know, this is a community that teaches people, you know, how to have good character and be good citizens. So I want people to know that and respect this community for that.
I haven't even put my son's jersey on yet. Nice mother, huh? Do we want to hear about this bug? But it was the first game of the streak. Yes. And it was in the parking lot on the ground. It's a bright green bug. Every year, the person that's worn it that is graduating out of the school ceremoniously gives it to a mom that they know will wear it and bring it to every game from here to eternity. It's part of the DLS Team. It's a mom thing. It is a mom thing. It's definitely a mom thing.
So usually during the week something will happen that's funny. It'll be a joke of some sort, and so we usually will pick a word and we give it to Lou. He announces the games, and it is his job to somehow, without being obvious, work the word into his play-by-play.
Chitty chitty bang bang.
That was the end all. And everyone in the
Just a reminder, tonight's varsity game will be starting at 7 o'clock tonight.
The football sailed over the
7:30.
goalpost like chitty chitty bang bang.
And you can see everyone in the stands go. Today's word is slumber party.
Because we're having one tonight.
And if he can't work that in, he's supposed to work in my name, so we'll see.
You guys got to make a promise to yourselves and to each other that there's only one way to play this game. That's from here on out the rest of the season. It's going to go fast, and it's going to come quickly. This season's going to be over before you know it.
TJ almost got another concussion. You guys were hitting though. I mean, you weren't just out there. You're out there playing. That's what I like to see. 8:30 tomorrow, 1 o'clock on Monday. Good luck on your ACTs. Let's get a prayer. Let's go.
St. John Baptist, Salle. Houston Hearts.
Don't forget God's Spartan!
There's an inside feeling at De La Salle that we just don't expect to ever lose.
You know, winning is just what we do. And so, I mean, I don't mean that as like we're arrogant, but they just don't understand that other high schools where winning and losing is a week-to-week event. And the emotion that goes into winning or losing, that's something these guys aren't familiar with.
We've gotten used to it. Like when we broke the 100 game streak, we had like news media here, we had, you know, local TV personalities, we had the sports personalities here, we had a big assembly. It's like kids are going,
Once the day comes, if the day ever comes, that they lose, it will be headlines everywhere.
The one piece of anxiety is that the media will distort it. That as much as they have built up the superhero myth, the inability to be defeated, they will then capitalize on that, saying streak is over, what's happened, sports program deteriorates.
And someone said jokingly, it's like, you know, when they finally lose, you know, they would have to have grief counselors come in to like debrief people. But then when I look at that in and of itself, having to bring in grief counselors because they lost a football game, it's like there's people dying and starving, and you know, it's a football game. It's high school.
Okay. They take one game at a time and they play the best that they can play. And if they just happen to meet an opponent that's better than them, well, that's the way it is.
Forget about all the wins. Forget about that stuff. We learn through the coaches and through our football and experience. And Coach Slade makes sure of that. And he makes sure that winning, you know, it's not top priority.
There's definitely a value in learning, you know, what losing feels like, but I mean, you can't expect us to just not work as hard so that we can experience that, you know.
If you play as hard as possible and you lose, then you can't say anything. But if you mess up a lot and you don't play up to your potential, then that's when everybody's going to get on you.
I'd like to see a loss. I think it's about time.
It would be very interesting to see our school next week if perhaps we didn't win. I know what the coaches would say. You know, they'll make sure the guys are okay, and we're not going to have grief counselors or anything.
It's not going to be a big deal. It's something that's going to happen, and when it happens, it's going to be a real good team that beats them, and they're going to have bragging rights for life, and good for them.
We're human and we're vulnerable, as we are, which is what the coaches tell these kids every day.
Well, I think most of these kids, you know, realize it's going to happen sooner or later. I mean, you would think. Let's put it that way.
There's always a value of losing because you can learn from your mistakes. That's how I believe. Like you learn from failing.
If something happens and the scoreboard doesn't say what we wanted to say, that doesn't mean that the tradition doesn't keep going. I don't think the tradition of De La Salle is winning. I think that it's just, you know, commitment to excellence.
They could go another 10 years. They could go another game. And it's just not going to matter. They're going to wake up the next day, and they're going to be all right. The coaches are going to be all right. They're going to make sure the kids are all right. And you know, losing's part of playing.
The greatest tragedies occur when we're not feeling unrest.
Okay. This idea that we're back to comfort, we're back to regular normality, everything is fine, and that's exactly when we get smacked again.
We just did a study on, you know, we looked at American culture and what we value and what we're all about. Is it all negative? All right, today we're going to break into our groups and you're going to come up with a plan. I'm the President of the United States and I'm going to hire you as my consultants. So what you need to do is come up with a plan, okay, to sell America. You would break into your groups, pick a facilitator, a presenter, and a writer, and start to brainstorm. You go to any school around here, and you say, "Why is De La Salle, you know, good?" It's because we recruit, but the perception is that we cheat. Well, the perception in the world is the United States is this monster, imperialistic, trying to gobble you up. You know, but the people here look at it and we don't see ourselves as a monster. You know, we have our faults, but we don't see ourselves as a monster.
The De La Salle recruits line was very prevalent in the 1980s because Bob took over the team in 1979, and by 1982 we were playing for the NCS championship, which we won. We were undefeated. It was kind of like the team that everyone used to kind of beat up on is now starting to win. And how is that? Well, they always recruit Catholic schools with recruiting.
The other guys overreact. It's like, oh, you're recruiting the kid. You know, you can't talk to him. Well, what do you mean you can't talk to him? You could talk to him. I mean, you can't sit there and go, gee, you know, you're going to be the best, or, you know, we've got a special place for you, and don't worry about finances. And that's recruiting somebody. But when a kid says, I want to go to De La Salle, and you say, that's a wise choice. What's wrong with that? It is a wise choice.
Yes, it is a private school, so yeah, we do have a larger area to draw from. But when you're winning, that's one of the best recruiting. If you can win, that's one of the best recruiting strategies you can have.
People say that De La Salle doesn't recruit, and that's true. But the reputation of the school is what recruits people. And then the school basically has its pick of the best players in the area.
I get calls all the time, you know, on my phone about my kid's a great athlete, and I just immediately go, Joe Grantham, he's the director of admissions, talk to him. I can't talk to you until you're in the school.
Hi, welcome. Do you still need an application?
No, I have one at home, thank you.
Great, go ahead and have a seat. They're bringing in a group.
Last academic year, we awarded $690,000 in financial assistance. And no matter what you hear, all awards are need-based. There's no such thing as a scholarship. So, contrary to what everyone thinks, it's all need-based. So you have to go through the process and fill all that stuff out.
This is truly and absolutely back to the rudimentary beginnings of football. Out in the elements, no artificial turf. Take it like it is. I don't think Clayton's afraid of De La Salle. I really don't. I talked to my son when he came home. He said, man, those guys talk so much shit. Even when they're getting beat.
They're really not tough at all. As you see on film, they just run around hitting people in their backs. I just want to have fun tomorrow and just hit people, not cheap shots, so, you know, just good, clean football.
Cannot play tentative, ground's gonna be slippery, it's raining like this, the ball's gonna be slippery.
Don't snap a wet football. It's all sloppy and wet. Just tell the refs this ball's soaking wet. We'll get another one right into you.
You could ask the ref, I need a towel. Hey, Aaron. Tell us, you understand me? No, How are you? At any time, you can say I need a towel.
So you're going to be able to play football at its most basic elements tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon. And that'll be fun for you. Get ready for it. And I don't mean fun, roll around in the mud fun. I mean, you're going to be hitting.
If I'm wearing something that says De La Salle, you know, most of the time it's, hey, you play football or something, you know, it's congratulations. But a lot of the time, if it's like guys from other schools, like, you know, at De La Salle, and, you know, like, oh, we take showers together, it's all boys, and just like stuff like that.
You know, like 20 guys want to beat me up at a party, you know, because they will never be. I don't know, it's just jealousy. Anytime someone does something good, someone wants to bring it down. That's the way it always is.
I ignore it. I mean, it's not really. I'm sure that if I was in their shoes, I'd probably be saying the same stuff because I didn't know what it was about.
When people are making negative comments about you and bitching and moaning, that means you're doing something probably right. And they're either jealous, ticked off, wondering why Lakeland School can't be like that. You know, all this unlevel playing field and all that, to me, is just really a statement saying is, you have an advantage because your school's together and we're not.
That's the cutest thing. Well, that was cute.
There's a cringe factor, particularly high in adolescence. They don't want to share anything about themselves, so they're embarrassed. The De La Salle experience is a quintessential high school experience. It is a peak experience for young men who are finding themselves and finding the connections of a brotherhood that they join.
One thing we try to do in our classes and just in the school and everything people try to do is, like, you know, the stereotype that, you know, a man can talk, he can share his feelings, he doesn't, you know, it's not wimpy to, you know, talk about yourself.
I felt really comfortable with all the players and coaches on our team. You just got to be open and honest.
Permission to speak, sir. I was sitting here my sophomore year, me and Chan's playing shitting ourselves because we were afraid of Coach Ladd and everything.
I got the whole program. It had kind of sour taste in my mouth. I really didn't feel like coming back.
I mean, I used to get letters from Columbia, Cornell, Dartmouth. They're no longer there.
They no longer come to my life, especially the coaching staff. You know, seeing that my father's not always there, I've learned something from each and every one of you guys.
Fun. You bring a lot of fun and a lot of joy to my life.
I mean, playing with you has been a real honor.
We're in modern day, you know, I mean, it was one of the greatest victories we ever had, 28-21. And my nephew, Sean, you know, gave up a deep post for like a 70-yard touchdown to make it 21-21. We'd won the game, and he was in the locker room. He was just fell apart. I mean, I can understand that. You know, when you got these kind of guys that it means so much to them, that's going to be a natural feeling. It's not a life or death feeling, you know, but if you let a friend down, it's going to be a natural reaction to you.
It's the follow-up where they are correcting each other and supporting each other. And it's not coach to kid, it's kid to kid. They'll always have a recollection of making that connection with each other being important for the outcome of the whole.
Part of the secret comes from athletes, these group of guys getting together and truly believing in the cause and staying the course with their work and believing in each other and caring for each other.
And actually that idea supersedes the whole idea of winning and losing. And Lad will be the first one to say that.
If you're all about football, that's not a lot. I think that if we were to strive for the highest ideal as an educator, parent, coach, that's what our job is to try to teach kids how to love each other. You got to create an environment where it's allowed and encouraged.
What are they doing? You know, this is the football team, and they're holding hands, but there's something about how they bring everything together, and they win the game.
Like, I've been asked why we hold hands. It's a sign of team, not individual. We don't walk out there one by one. We walk out there together.
You know, people walk by, oh, that's cute, but you know, shit, it's no big deal. A lot of teams do that. It's unity.
Because you'll play not just for yourselves, but you're going to play for your team, your school, and each other. But you all got to be thinking and feeling as one to do it. You're going to accomplish much more important things. You're going to get involved in so many more important things than what you're doing right now. I hope you better be. I'll tell you one thing, you're going to want to be able to look back someday and say, you know, when we played at De La Salle, those were the days. Those were the days.
You know, it's not necessarily about, this program's not exactly what you do on the football field. It's about the journey you take. And the game is kind of a secondary thing that goes on throughout the whole process. Because I think you've all done what you needed to do to be as good as you can be. And that's what life's all about. That's the type of life lesson that'll carry you on. Like Coach said, hopefully this is not the highlight of your life. It's one of them, and you use it to take on to be more highlights. But I don't want anybody in this program saying the greatest time of my being was when I was 17 years old. Because if that's the truth, then you've missed the point of this program.
Football is football. It's an aggressive sport. But here, these boys are nice, and they're helping that person instead of saying, it's all about me, which is really different than what you get from other school football coaches. Some coaches are like, he didn't come to practice, but he's the star, so you're going to play. Or here, it's like a bunch of nobodies, but then everybody becomes somebody.
Come on, smile. Come on. Let's go look at it. Smile. Okay, both smile. Smile. Show the fang. Show the fang.
De La Salle has always provided the community where they always have open arms. The things that we go through here in just 2 years is, on the varsity level, it's something that lasts forever. I mean, there's people that have come back that are like in their 30s that have come back to watch a practice and stuff, and I'm sure I'll do the same.
Coach Ladd and the rest of the coaching staff is more of teaching us about life and how to be good people and and it's also football, you know, but it's more of just like being a good person and like good morals and getting your work done.
Things can't happen without cheating, you know, without pretentiousness, you know, and a team-first attitude, you know, with, you know, obviously some individual players are really great, but, you know, not one fantastic star. You know, it's an old-time story in that sense. I think what high school football is meant to be, and the fact that we've won as many games as we've won and done it that way, I think makes it a unique story.
I've had people come up to me and tell me, they say, you do such a great job out there. People that don't really know what's going on inside our team or the school. And sometimes I thank them, but I wonder to myself, how do you know I'm doing a great job?
It's written by one of our teammates, DeMonte Fitzgerald. He asked me to read it. Motifs of a Spartan. Months of blood and sweat, tears and fatigue, laughs and cries, pain and relief. Struggle and progress, commitment and dedication, excellence and perfection, persistence and repetition. Technique and strength, bonds and brotherhood. Teaching and learning, speaking and being heard. Courage, pride and endurance, respect and honor, respect and honor, respect and honor. Fundamental stance and demeanor, sacrifice, determination, never arrogant, always modest, always humble, never takes more than needed, but always gives what is possible of giving, always exceed expectations, and forever will remain a tool of inspiration. Months of blood and sweat, tears and fatigue, laughs and cries, pain and relief, struggle and progress, but a lifetime of brotherhood.
I asked the guys, I asked the seniors when it's all over at the end of the season, was it worth it? All that work? The answer isn't immediate. They'll go, yeah.
I'm a regular student now, I guess. About to graduate and go off to college. Can't wait.
Everyone always says high school is supposed to be one of the best experiences of your life. I'm waiting for college, to tell you the truth.
I'm ready to move on. High school is a lot of fun, but I'm anxious to get to that, you know, the next step.
Happy to be done, but I'm also gonna really miss it.
The story is, there is no story. Bob Ladouceur really is a boring person. This is not an exciting story.